and welcome everyone to tonight. It's Monday, which means Wanderlust and Wildemount. We are here, although half of us may only be here half the way mentally. We're all here in the Zoom call, and that's what matters. So we are gonna go around. We're gonna say who we are, who we're playing, and let's do something fun. Character. How did your character feel about how did they feel about that meeting with the Clockwork Council? I feel like that's a fun, good, enlightening character question that'll put us right in the mood for where we start off. I'll begin because I'm already talking. Hi, I'm Lindy, and I'm playing Wendell Eustace Abernathy, Lucius Throckwaddle Hossenpfeffer IV of the Havisham Hossenpfeffers. He's a nobleman. He's a warlock, a vineyard owner, aspiring author. The list of titles will grow longer and longer. And he feels like those Clockwork Council people are still just a bunch of cultists, a bunch of conniving cultists for the evil orb of evil, and that they must be thwarted. That's how he feels. How do you feel about all this? D20 coup de grace, how are you tonight?
Yes, that's me. Tonight I'll be playing Harlan Flipcloak. He's a hobgoblin divination wizard. And, let's see. I say he feels intrigued by the offer.
Mm-hmm.
And those type of the offers are typically the ones that are most dangerous.
This is true. Speaking of danger, Shiny Pilot.
Hello, Danger's my middle name. Actually, I don't know what Igor's...
Danger Pilot.
Yeah, Shiny Danger Pilot. Actually, I don't know what Igor's middle name is. Maybe we should make it Danger and be Igor Danger Hossenpfeffer the fourth. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Shiny Pilot playing Igor. He's a hunchback. He's a butler. He's half orc. And how he feels about the meeting is full, and whatever master says goes. As long as they bring more food around, Igor's happy.
All right, happy Nugatosaurus. Hi.
Most of the time, I'm a pretty happy person. Hi, I'm Nugatosaurus. Today I'm playing Hal, the shifter fighter / paladin. She was not happy with that meeting. It was definitely... She doesn't trust them as far as Nezrin can throw them. And I say Nezrin because Hal can throw things pretty far. Yeah, she's not inclined to agree to do anything to do with them. So, we'll see what happens.
We shall see what happens, indeed. Someone... we always just can't wait to see what happens with them. Producer Trav, how are you?
You could say happy, ? Producer Trav. Hi. How's it going? Last week's show was awesome because in a rare display of aptitude and cunning, Lamont actually got his icy black grip around the plot of the game. And frankly, it's a win-win either way. Whether they're acting on behalf of this god who they claim is a pretty passive cat, well, he's neutral. He just likes to sit around and maybe we'll play bridge with him when he gets back here. Okay, fine. If he tries to kill everybody, we'll get a big fat heads up. Either way, it's all part of an ongoing campaign to influence what people think of us / me, and this is going famously, and so the more we can manipulate them right back, the happier I am. Back to you.
I love how...
Playing Lamont Quinlan. Oh,
yes.
He's a Kalishtar rogue. I'll shut up.
Whoa. I love how 2 out of the 3 people, or 2 out of the 5, wow, I can't math. 2 out of the 5. The sunburn. It's destroyed my brain power, apparently, tonight. 2 people out of this group are both campaigning for something, an image of sorts, you could say. Although one is much more pyramid-shaped than the other. Over to you, our fantastic Dungeon Master Deception Check. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm looking forward to this evening because it seems like everyone's a little off their rocker, and that's the perfect time to be making important life decisions for your characters because, everything that happens in this next episode will probably inform the rest of this season of the campaign. So what could go wrong? I'm at Deception Check. I'm the DM tonight. I am happy enough to be running this thing for my friends here. Last week, they finally sat down and spoke with the Clockwork Council. I think, me personally, being the person who plays each and every one of those particular NPCs, I thought they laid out a very plain and compelling narrative that should be comforting and welcoming to group.
Why does it feel the opposite of all of those things?
Because each and every one of you are paranoid. And that's it. That's just it.
Well, that's what paranoid. The first campaign taught us to be. It was paranoid.
I mean, it just, Nezrin's parents were a little crazy.
Sure.
Nezrin will agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Benarvin went off the reservation there and kind of did a little bit of bad stuff. Did some horrible things. And so let's see where we end up today. So we're going to start back tonight. After talking with the players, we want to still have a little bit more time at the masquerade ball. So we will start right after the room clears out, leaving our lovely group sitting in the room where the singer had performed. Kaliana has left as well to give you time to speak on your own. Outside, most of the people who are experiencing and having fun at the ball are wooing and wowing at the golden disc being presented in the center of the ballroom and listening to the fine music and performances of the other performers. What are you guys doing inside the room alone?
I would like to point out that chat has our backs and says it's not paranoia if they're really out to get you.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's
you mentioned stuff in the room. Has the server brought in any more food for Igor?
Several plates of food were left by the door.
He requested it,
Yeah, several plates of food were left at the door. It is a sampling of everything available, as well as several bottles of fine liqueur.
Okay, where appropriate, Igor will purloin at least one of each onto one of the platters, and he'll bring it over towards his Mashta to Wendell, and he'll offer him some of the food as well as imbibe and take away he wants to. Just happy. And he'll kind of nudge Wendell and sort of be like, Mashta, you should eat.
Yes, he kind of side-eyes the food for a moment, then thinks,
Mashta.
surely they wouldn't be brazen enough to poison us right after a meeting. That seems a bit okay. And he'll have some food because he's just.
You should try some of this shit.
Like he's eating 6 times more than the daily recommend. The daily average. Reasons.
Yeah.
It's like that or waste away. One of the two.
Something like that.
It's very strange.
You hear the music picking up outside and the murmur of conversation coming through the closed doors as you sit in silence, thinking about what was said to you. So, Igor's eating. It kind of echoes in the quiet room.
Sorry, didn't mean to be rude. Does anybody want some? Just kind of looking around.
I just mage hand take another hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, I bite into an hors d'oeuvre, and I'm, making a mess. The little cheese ones are pretty good, actually.
Oh, you should try these. They call them sausages in a blanket. They don't look like blankets to me, but
no, they're not really blankets. Well, I thought that went well.
It is quite the tempting offer.
Got them right where you want them,
How's that little presence in the back of my head doing?
Gibbering.
Tune into that for a second.
Not really saying anything coherent, just basically mumbling to itself. It's just like a low hum of noise in your head.
All right.
Yeah,
Processing.
nothing particular.
A little, little loading circle, basically, of it. All right. So, well, they want us to procure items to hasten the unimprisonment of this deity that they worship.
Also offered quite a number of funds in that pursuit.
Yes, it is interesting. As much as I despise them and don't wish to work with them at all, it might be better at least to know what they're in search of or doing than not knowing.
We might be thinking the same thing.
What about you, Hal? What are your thoughts on the matter?
My initial gut reaction is fuck no.
Yes, I feel very similarly. I've learned to consult my gut, but then also to wheedle things out in my brain as well. And this could be an interesting opportunity, but I mean, if they can find out where items are, and they need people to get them, surely we could find out where certain items are and get to them first, perhaps.
I think that's towing a very fine line. Nez?
Well, not sure what to think. I'm of a mind with you. My experience with the council before coming here was what my parents acting quite strange, doing quite horrible things in the name of something else. Still not sure exactly why the gold was important. They seem to be quite as much money here as they possibly need. So perhaps they are correct that my parents kind of went a little bit off the plan. I've had nothing but a good experience since meeting these people here in Port de Mali, so
I dislike how only one of them did all of the talking for the whole meeting. There wasn't even any chiming in, really. It's like they just picked their most charismatic and convincing member to do all of the talking in hopes that we'd believe them and take them at their face value of what they said.
Oh, wait, isn't it correct that they almost all of them have met you in some way before the meeting?
There's a difference between talking before a meeting and mingling at a party, than at least contributing your 2 cents of, oh yes, fuck that Benarvin guy, or something like that during, when talking about it.
Well, let me just say this. In a business proposal or business environment, I find that I would rather not have my underlings speak over me if I want to get my point across.
She did say she was in administration. She could be of a higher council rank. Is there anything above a prime? We don't know.
Or if we do like a trial period or something.
Oh, I'm sure there's a probationary period, but perhaps if they're as bad as you say they are, the end of that probationary period would be either access to the council or death. I don't prefer the option there.
No, death is a rather dislikable option in most cases, involving us.
Not going to come to that. These people are cowards. If they were going to do something, they'd do it themselves.
I'm not sure I got that feeling, but this isn't my decision, so I'll just I'm going to grab something to eat. Do you want something to eat, Hal?
No, I kind of lost my appetite.
Okay.
If I may, Nezrin, you'd maybe know better than anyone whether or not these people actually worship something dangerous, or if there's anything they're not telling us.
Why would I know that? I know everything
know.
you know.
Why would you know that?
Hal, is it time for you to hit him again?
Yeah, it's sounding like that.
What?
It sounded like you were accusing me of
Accusing
something.
her.
Are you sure?
Yep, we've already made sure, considering the fact that she helped us, put her parents in jail.
Well, there you go. And I'm not. This is a win-win for everybody. We're here to move forward. As far as I'm concerned, we should be ordering up champagne because we've got these people right where we want them. Let's get their first assignment. What do they want? They want the magic stone of spying on people in the bathroom, whatever baloney they want us to go get. We'll go get it.
There's no stone that does.
If it's a world devastator, we'll know that it smells funny. If it's the ultimate nullifier or some sort of horrifying doomsday machine, we'll have a heads up about it. But it's probably the feather duster of misfortune or some baloney that this guy used to walk around with. So we gather it up, and then in the meantime, we tell him we need a lot to accomplish this task. We need a fixed airship. We need a command center. We need a line of communication to everyone on the streets.
We have a
and the means
command
for which
center.
to pay for their loyalty.
And Harlan, is your airship broken?
No.
Or then we have a working airship and a command center.
There's some minor repairs.
Minor repairs. Come on.
That sounds very minor.
You have a gold-plated toilet in that airship if you play your cards right on this one. All right? They'll fix up the whole goddamn thing. We play them
Way
like a
too
fiddle.
heavy.
Okay, fine. But you get, symbolically, you could have whatever extravagance you wanted. But that's not what we're going to do with their money.
Gold-plated would be lighter than solid gold.
Nesrin interjects. Why do you think that they'd be willing to give us all of that to do these simple tasks?
I doubt the tasks are simple.
There's no way. If it was some go across the street and get me a sandwich kind of a thing, they wouldn't surrender this much to us.
They're not surrendering anything to you. That's the thing. You seem to think that they're like. I'm looking at this from a business proposition.
Yes, I
they
don't.
have not offered anything, and you seem like you're about to get a blank check. I'm trying to get expectations here because I'm getting tied to you all in this. And my new business and my livelihood is being attached to all of this, it seems. So I want expectations to be correct here. Am I out of line, Hal?
No.
You heard these people. A blank check is all but what they said they'd give us.
They didn't
No.
say anything remotely like that.
I believe they said they'd provide support.
Support compensation. That's not a blank check, Lamont. That's rather large difference. It's here's a 20 to that reference doesn't work because we don't have cars and gasoline.
Here's a gold for a carriage.
Yeah, here's a taxi, carriage home. Not here's a tricked out deluxe 6-horse carriage for you to take wherever you want, whenever you want.
Well, this is where, and just to jump out really quick of the game, this is where they probably continue to have a fundamental disagreement, because my memory of last week's game was that What's-Her-Face laid it on pretty thick, was that I was, that Lamont was going to be whatever sort of night-crawling vigilante, such and such that he wanted, and that she kind of sold us on
Sold you.
all but making our dreams. Yeah, well, sold me on all but making our dreams come true in within reason.
I already have
in
someone working
service
on that.
of-
I don't
Of
know
getting
why I
these
would
things.
need conflicting interests.
I'm not far off. I remember this.
She said she could help your reputation, which honestly, it does need help, and most people could do that.
people are cowards. We find out what they want, where they want us to
Call a
go.
lot of people cowards, Lamont.
We make sure that they don't hurt themselves or anyone else. And whatever
think
resources
if we-
they're willing to
If
throw our way, we take
get
them.
into an agreement with them, they are going to twist it to their advantage. We
Of
will get
course.
nothing out of it. Nothing good. And I am not willing to tie Nezrin's legitimate businesses into our insanity.
Semi-legitimate. I mean, no legitimate businesses really make money in this world anymore. But
You know what I mean?
I mean,
You're an upstanding, like, business person.
whose
course
parents are
she
in
is.
jail for
Mostly.
trying to steal and killing people,
You're not your parents.
but you know, it's sins of the father, and this
And the siblings. I understand, yes.
it's a terrible thing.
Tragic.
Exceptions.
Still.
That's why I'm in Port Damali and not Amman.
I don't. Any immediate rewards we will get will not add up over time.
All right. So I think the question here is, we have a couple of options, a few paths ahead of us. We could take as a group. We could work for them indefinitely. I don't think any of us are here for that one. We could do a job for them, see how that goes, and go from there. Make it a one-time contract agreement. We could ignore them completely. They leave them alone, they leave us alone, hopefully. Go our separate paths. Or we form a counter, an antithesis to them, if you will.
Destroy them.
Do we really need more enemies?
Well, aside from the Clockwork Council, who do we have as enemies?
I guess we do need more enemies.
I mean, I
Well,
have a
well,
couple
I mean,
personal ones.
The
There's
clasp isn't too fond of us.
there's a mayor. There's that falafel vendor.
The Terror has enemies.
Before we decide anything.
Oh yes, Lamont. Aside from that person who did terrible things and stole all of your ideas and inventions, what enemies do you have?
I pissed off a few crime families, organizations back in Human before I left.
You mean the one? The clasp?
We're on.
I
please
thought
speak
there were
into
several
the
splinter
microphone.
groups in play before the end of it, but
Well, there weren't.
No, we
left my
fucked them
notes
up.
behind.
We neutralized them by.
Yeah, we
Feeling
fucked
Frank
them
would jump
up.
in there. Frank, there was somebody. We talked about this. Frank, there was somebody. This would be a good time for me to actually. He wouldn't mind.
Maybe
naming
bring
it.
up a new thing you've discovered. Maybe.
You okay? Lamont
There was.
did
I
involve
have this written
himself
down.
with several families who were involved in illegal activities. They weren't exactly crime families, but they
Gotcha.
were well-to-do merchants and nobility who were caught red-handed doing things that Lamont disagreed with, and which were illegal, and he took them out. However, he'd like to describe how that happened.
Well, yeah, what I remember is that I broke here it is. I broke up a mugging ring that I pissed off Lord Aaronwright. But I couldn't pin him on it, and then they ran me through they trashed the Terror's name in the press.
Yep.
In the press.
And the Prius.
In the press. Yeehaw. Yes. In the broadsheets.
In the broadsheets, yes. No, that's right. Lord Aaronwright, being a minor noble in the city of Vermont, was caught red-handed by Lamont, but unfortunately he could not find enough concrete proof for the authorities to press any charges, especially being nobility, and therefore, the terror which strikes in the night was dragged through the mud through the broadsheets.
And I relate that. And I'm like, it's just one of the reasons I skipped town. Till things cool off.
The terror ever praised in the broadsheets? Like, what's the difference?
I'm fine with it, as long as they're talking. I was having trouble
Right.
making my rounds in the evenings, so I needed to go somewhere where nobody knows my name. Yet.
Well, before we decide anything, I would like to go do some research. So,
I would like to do some research. Yes, research as well.
I can talk to the priests at the Temple of Bahamut and
Oh, what
see
a
if I can
great
figure anything
idea.
I need your help, Wendell.
Of course, Harlan. What do you need?
These business people, I don't know how to deal with them.
Oh, well.
They want me to pay them a lot of money.
Well, how much money?
Oh, Harlan, I heard about your situation, and I know one of my factors was meeting at that meeting where they were discussing purchasing your airship plans, or at least the rights to them. I'll let you know, it seems to be rather on the up and up. I took a look at all the information he brought back. I mean, I am speaking as someone who is an interested party at this point, but I mean, you know me through Howl and through our experiences, and I don't see anything untoward about this. If you're interested in doing that, I'll give Wendell the paperwork.
I would love to look over the paperwork. Of course, I believe your primary interest, Harlan, would be keeping the intellectual property of the, the finer inner workings and that like.
It does sound important.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm sure with Nez and Wendell, they'll be able to keep everything you want on your side.
I mean, it's quite lucrative. I mean, you could nearly buy yourself a writ of nobility with the amount of money you'll make off of this if it really truly works out the way it's supposed to be.
$signs.
I mean, we're talking about
his green eyes turn into
breaking a monopoly. Airships are controlled by one place, one group who make them and mine the stone and then send out few of the world. It's 100,000 gold for an airship. I mean, that's the cost of a large manor, a castle even, for just one single airship. Makes using them as a mercantile option almost impossible. But your ships, with your design, can be mass produced. We can have a world of air travel.
And you could design a ship specifically for the purpose of mass production, something that would be difficult to tweak into your personalized designs that you so enjoy.
Or is it possible that you could build different types, like a pleasure craft versus a merchant craft? Something that carries nothing but cargo?
Food. Nothing but food.
Military
Food is a type of
applications.
cargo,
Could you
Igor.
imagine if you were able to sell a military version of this? It would possibly, I mean, you could sell exclusive rights to the military version, and that could be worth, that by itself could be a patent nobility right there.
I see.
Just let Nez and Wendell take care of it, and you'll be fine.
Just make a list of the things that are most important to you that you want to get out of this.
Why don't you have Wendell represent you? I'll continue to represent my interests, and then I mean, if you trust Wendell in this, I'm sure he can negotiate for you.
Of course, I trust Wendell.
He did ask for his help.
I think that's Harlan really does trust Wendell.
Harlan really trusts Wendell. I don't.
D20 does not trust
I'm
Wendell.
gonna write this down. Harlan asked for my
trust.
help.
Okay, back as the DM. So you guys want to break for the evening and go do different things, or is this what you'd like to do tomorrow?
Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry, Lamont. Was there more you'd like to do this evening?
Before they finish that thought, I mean, I just clear my throat. I'm just like, I'd like to just rewind for just a second, because you asked the big question just a minute ago. If this if our group can get a grip on this city economically, socially, financially, if you really make this deal, break up this airship thing, we find out how to get at these people. We find out what they're hiding. They're all worried about something. You can feel it. They need this guy to come back. And I don't care why.
As a side point, Lamont, this is the DM trying to give you a little bit of background information. This particular information is a generalized mercantile deal spanning the world and has nothing to do with the Clockwork Council at all, or the city of.
But I'm talking about the Clockwork Council, right? We're still talking about that.
Not that contract talk about the ship. It has no association with it.
But if we kick their ass and usurp them and play the long game and do this right, we can have whatever super cool little clockwork club we want to have, and we could end suffering in this city. End it. The wrong people have been in charge for too long. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I'm here to do.
Nestor pipes up. Actually, there's less suffering in this city than in Iman. It's actually a well-run town, very wealthy, and most the poorest peoples are taken care of and given quite a bit of support from the government. The Clovis Concord is quite a good organization. I'm not sure what. Are we talking about the same place, Lamont?
I'm from out of town.
Well,
I'm sure somewhere someone is suffering on this island.
Dwindle? No, well, it's a continent.
Continent. Port.
Which is
City.
like a really big island.
Big island, yes.
I haven't seen the map.
The Dwindalian Empire does have a stranglehold on most of its residents. There is a good bit of serfdom and poor in that particular country. It's a ways away over a mountain range, but we did meet
the prince,
the fourth prince of the Dwindalian Empire. It seems to be involved with the Clockwork Council. So
my concerns are global.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
And
to
we
understand.
just set up. Look, I appreciate you and I respect you. We
Thank
just
you,
set
Lamont.
up a door to be back in Iman within an instant. Am I wrong about that? We can just step
you
into
did?
the thing.
I
didn't we?
How is that something we have?
Yeah, now. We set it up. Yeah.
Acorn.
Yeah, you were there, Ness.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I was talking the whole time about signing the.
Yeah.
That's right.
You and Wendell were doing business.
I wasn't
stuff.
sure what. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but that's neat. Okay, you'll have to show me.
The terror has no boundaries. No bodies of water, no gates, no doors can save evil from it. And we are coming for it. Evil, that is. And we will not be restricted geographically or financially. We take these clockwork assholes for the ride of their lives and we use it to form a beachhead in this town, and then we put our foot up anyone's ass who's between us and it. You guys give it some thought. I gotta use the bathroom. I'll leave the room.
Well,
Anyone else just exhausted by him?
Sometimes I thought I was getting a handle on what he was talking about back in Iman, but
He
it
just-
seems that it's gone off the bit, like not off a different rail.
I was.
He just doesn't even try to understand.
I was wondering if we were having the same conversation at points.
We weren't.
Okay.
He just.
I think he has a vigilante fever dream he's trying to achieve.
He's one person, and he wants to have some global reach. Like. Anyway.
While you guys are talking, you see Igor grab his belly.
Oh,
His
no.
face turns green, and he
Igor.
just runs out the door.
And on that note, Nez, let's go dance before we leave this party.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Oh, yes. You guys still feel like staying? I thought we'd probably be leaving after this.
I mean, there's still people to mingle with, and now we know who's in the Clockwork Council. We can mingle with other people.
Well, we know at least who the leaders of the
The
Clockwork
leaders,
Council are.
the
Yeah.
prime.
I'm about peopled out, so let's do a dance or two, and then I'm gonna go. You are welcome to stay, Nez. But
Oh no. I'll leave when you leave.
okay. Excuse me.
Wow. You are you
How
sure
does
you
it
don't
yawn?
want to go
That's-
now?
That's a nugget.
I mean, if you're that tired, Hal, we can go.
Yeah, let's just go.
Oh, all right.
People are just. I'm done.
Now, Harlan, would you like to take a? I mean, you're all staying at our manor for now, aren't you? You could come along if you want to leave, or do you want to stay? You seemed uncomfortable earlier in the evening.
I've been kind of bound here.
I'm sure they'll let you stay with us.
I'm. Who is Mr. Nouveau involved with this?
Yes.
Let me have a conversation with him. Oh, 1 second. We'll get him over here. And she goes to the door and opens it, and then talks to one of there's like a servant standing by the door. And she's like, "Would you please just get Mr. Nouveau? Yeah, we have to speak. Thank you." She says, "He'll be here in a moment."
Wonderful.
Wendell, are you going to stay, or would you like to leave as well?
I believe I will have a dance as well. I've not yet danced this evening. It sounds like it, It's been a while since I've stretched the legs,
Of course. Are you sure you're up to it?
Of course I am.
Of course.
I'd also like to take a look at that thing they put on display.
Oh, it looks quite grand. The glance I had of it sparkles in the sunlight.
Well, you talk to
it's like
Mr.
candlelight.
Nouveau.
Does that give anybody else the creeps?
Oh, it's creepy.
Like, well, no, I don't know. It's
I have
probably
not
just me
yet
'cause I don't
seen
know
it.
magic.
Let me look at
But
it.
like,
I'll let you.
when I go near it, like it freaks me out, man. I don't like it.
Ooh, I walk over.
Okay, so you exit
Not like this.
the parlor.
This is me.
Wow.
I just
30s criminal at a railroad right now. That was a total look right there.
All you need is a top hat.
Yeah, exactly. So as Wendell, as you walk out, you pass Mr. Nouveau coming in. He's like, "Oh, I have a good time.
Thank you.
Take a look
Yes.
at the golden disc. It's
I
beautiful.
was on my way to look at that now.
Perhaps you'll make a bid."
Perhaps I will.
Excellent. And so you head towards the golden disc, which has got a nice crowd around it. And Mr. Nouveau walks in. Yes, Miss Walsterin, how might I help? What's the problem? Oh, well, I've been told that Harlan is under house arrest here. Would it be possible that he could maybe come and stay at my manor instead? Oh, I was going to tell Mr. Flipcloak once all this was done. Well, he's free to go. The Zalazo captain came and said that all charges have been dropped, so everything is fine. And I feel confident in staying at your manor that our deal might be able to go through swimmingly. So, are we still positive on that, aren't we, Harlan? You still feeling good? He reaches over and kind of massages your shoulder.
Oh, no.
Feeling good about that?
Very good, yes.
Wonderful. I have so many plans if we could just make this happen.
I've had a wonderful stay at your place.
I'll have my servants gather all your things from the room and take it out. They'll be waiting for you at the carriage when you're ready to leave.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Anything else I can do? I hope I hope you all have had a grand time at my ball. Yes? Okay, great. Glad to see you.
Isn't the Marquise supposed to be here?
Oh, yes. She's been in and out. She was here a little while. You were here in your meeting, but she was called away rather suddenly.
Did everybody get an invitation from her? Is like that how they went out?
Oh, that was just the general invitation. It
Okay.
it's a semi-state event. That's why all of the ambassadors and things are here. So I just kind of parlayed it into my own extravaganza. So it's more fun that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rubber
That's
stamp
it.
thing. Okay, great, wonderful. Anything else? Great. I hope you had a wonderful time. We'll see you again. And he just flows out in his golds and purples.
All right, let's wait for Wendell and Igor, and then let's bounce.
Well, there you go, Harlan. All taken care of.
Thank you, Miss Naveau.
Wasserman. I haven't married
sorry, Miss
the
Wasserman.
pompous ass.
Naveau.
Better not have.
Hal would kill him before I could ever get his money.
Yeah,
Harlan would not have said that.
because I know people who can just steal his money.
It's fine, Harlan. I'm glad I could help. Plus, you just don't look comfortable here. The trappings of wealth do not suit you.
Not at all.
That's fine. Well, Hal, let's go get a dance in while Wendell
Yep.
breaks his ankles.
Rude.
All right. So you go out to dance. Wendell is at the Golden Disc. Harlan, what are you
Yes.
doing?
I think Harlan's gonna go wait by the carriage.
Okay, wait outside.
Make sure I have everything. And just
Oh yeah,
Okay.
get your stuff.
Lamont, what are you doing as everyone breaks to finish up their evening?
He uses the restroom and washes his hands thoroughly.
That's important.
And makes his
Always wash
way
your hands.
back to the party, and this is Lamont now.
Oh,
in
as you're
his
leaving the rest
suit.
area,
Yes.
you almost get knocked over by Igor running in there, green to the gills in his face, holding his mouth, and he looks like he's about to be very sick.
And he dodges him,
Yep.
regards him, and continues on,
Okay.
and goes down to the floor. I want to revisit the plate while it's still on display.
Oh, wonderful. You make your way over there, and you see Wendell is already regarding the plate. So we'll get this at the same time. So you'll be walking up. Wendell, you're standing there amidst about 15 other people,
Mm-hmm.
all regarding this plate. It's standing on a 3-foot tall mahogany pedestal, shined with an inch of its life. It's mirror shine on this pedestal. The plate itself is a 3-foot in diameter, thick metal plate. It looks like it's pure gold, but you can't tell for sure. There is an aura of magic pulsating from it. On its form, there is an indentation of like a triangle in the center. Actually,
Love triangles.
flat triangle at the top. It's an inverted pyramid. Amazing. And
Brilliant.
inside the center is a large hole. There are runes that are of some magical. They seem like they may be magical. If you'd like to do an arcana, you could tell maybe. That are all around it on the ridge on the back. And at the edges of where these indentations are, it looks like there are runes that are going to it that just cut off and disappear.
I want to do 2 things.
Okay. And this is what you'll be doing when Lamont walks up.
Yes.
I wanna
I guess 3
walk.
things. I'll make the Arcana check.
Okay.
Again, I'm gonna use the dice that Nugget gave me because, I appreciate her. So, Arcana.
Be on the
16.
other side.
A 16.
Yeah, 'cause I
Okay.
get +3. So I was like, oh.
Nice. So as you're looking through, trying to figure out what these runes are, it becomes very difficult to concentrate because through the peephole, you see Lamont staring at you from the other
I've
side.
seen more unsettling things. Like him naked.
But unfortunately, the runes are beyond your understanding of magic.
Okay.
You know that they are magical runes of some sort,
Mhm.
but you cannot tell.
Second thing I want to do.
All right. Well, while you're thinking of that, Lamont, what are you doing? I'm juggling you two right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the opposite side of the plate
Yes.
from Wendell. I'm making eye contact with Wendell,
Yes.
and I telepathically say, trying to. I'm just looking at you, and he's got these whatever the equivalent of aviator, super sunglasses. This is what he's formed for himself.
Yes, your glimmered studded leather allows you to change your form.
Yes.
The look
Again,
of your form.
on the collector cup that you get at McDonald's of this scene. This is at the ball Lamont Quinlan, different from the Terror What Strikes in the Dark.
But this particular collector's cup, when filled with warm water or warm liquids,
it
actually
transforms.
changes look between the
Frank,
two.
you beautiful, you legend, you beautiful, marvelous thing.
It's a great collector cup. I have 2 of those.
Yes, turns into the full Terror What Strikes in the Dark, which they spent a fortune on, and so it's got to get on the cups and the. Anyway,
licensing was hell. They had to do it.
Now that we've brought the game to a complete halt, and so I'm looking across this plate at Wendell, and I'm like, so what's the deal? What's the deal with the
Telepathically.
plate?
I'm trying to discern that. I respond telepathically, Lamont.
Should we buy it?
Tempting. Puts his hands in his pockets. And I stick one hand in a little further.
Do you see it appreciating in value over the near future?
And I ignore Lamont. Like, let me think about that for a moment. And I have him be like, Glora, have you seen anything like this before?
The key. Keep the key away. Do not touch the key.
Do not
The
touch-
key. The
That's
key. Stay away from the key.
Is this the key to help unlock Avum?
It is a key. It is the key, but a part of the key. Many keys, many keys, many keys, too
keys.
many keys.
Too many keys. I'll respond to Lamont. Well, I believe this might be one of the keys the Clockwork Council is looking for. Possibly.
See, I think we collect these things and we tell them that they're not safe with anybody but us.
I
That if we
don't
leave
think
them
that's
with them,
totally believable or plausible.
someone will try to take them. If they
Much.
just, what are they going to do? Put it under their mattress? They've got to give it to
Well,
somebody.
One of them's a prince. They can lock it up in a royal vault. That's much harder to penetrate than our defenses. Well, I mean, I will say that our bank would give people a run for its money, but
You say you mentioned the prince, and you notice 3 people over to your right. The prince is standing there, regarding the golden disc with disdain, a little bit, kind of down his nose.
Of course. Well, he must look upon everything with disdain. If Wendell were a prince, he would do the same.
And then he looks at you and gives you a head nod.
Nod back. And then, third thing I want to do is I want to pull out my handy dandy drum.
Mm-hmm.
I want to copy the runes.
There are a great number of runes all over it.
Well,
There are runes along the side. There are runes on the front and the back.
Some of them end.
There are
though.
some that you cannot see.
Yeah. If there are any complete lines, like ones that don't like, because you said there's like a piece missing in the middle, and that some of them end there.
Right.
Maybe copy.
The ones you can see the most of
Mm-hmm.
is the front face. And so you can copy most of the runes around the front face, except for the ones, or you can copy the half runes
Because
that are there.
if I was one more level higher, I'm just saying, I would have eyes of the rune keeper, and I would be able to read all writing. So I just want to. He's writing them down for later, but he
Okay.
can read all writing. I picked the Tome Warlock of fairly useful things.
Right? I'm sorry, not right. Roll a wisdom save.
Wisdom soap, no.
And Lamont, what are you doing
I'm
as
proficient.
Wendell continues to ignore you at this point as you're talking to him when he sees you writing things down in his book?
I'm just staring at him.
Oh, Oh, come on.
for an uncomfortably long period of time.
Be lucky, dice.
I want to see what you do next.
Okay, and I'm proficient. 18.
Okay.
13. I rolled 14.
Okay.
Hopefully
ahead,
that's good enough.
So you think they'll just buy it? Oh no, this is the thing. Okay, so Wendell just told me that they want this.
Most likely, yes. Oh no.
But does the guy standing right there, who's on the flippin' council, does he know they want this? Or do you know they want this, but they don't know they want this?
I think they know they want this.
I guess that's why they didn't ask us to get it. They brought it right here and
Yes,
showed
it's
it to everybody.
I believe it's going to be sold at auction, possibly.
And you don't think we should have it?
I believe us having it would be preferable to them having it.
It's too big for me to carry by myself.
We're not. I don't think heisting it from this party is a good idea.
When is the auction?
House. I will find out.
All right. Something to think about. And I
It is.
walk out and I leave the party.
When
And
you
then I want
exit,
to go. Yeah, I
you
leave
see
the party.
Harlan standing by the carriage station. He's got several traveler's bags worth of belongings. Some are yours.
Lamont, I have some of your things here.
Hey, how's it going?
It is
What do you got?
better now. Much better.
Oh, hey, thank you. That's nice. Yeah, all this. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, fun party, right?
I suppose I don't really like parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really do groups. I don't really, I like gatherings, but I don't really do like groups or clubs or anything. It's weird. So many of us are a walking contradiction. Harlan, I don't know how you feel about the subject. I got a nervous tummy. I think those little pink things, I think that's fish. I don't know. I'm feeling a little upside down. So what are you up to tonight? You staying up late? Or you gonna burn the midnight oil? You gonna go mix it up? Put a brick through the windshield? You gonna stay in and read your book? What's next for Harlan?
Well, I hope my new jailer will release me to let me get back to my ship. I'd like to see what is necessary, what repairs are necessary.
Aren't I technically in that jail with you? Technically?
Yes, but you have broken free and they seem not to care.
Sweet.
I suppose.
I'm going out tonight, Harlan Flipcloak.
No.
Do you want to come with me?
Where would we go?
On patrol.
I suppose.
I said we gather everybody up. And go see what's really going on out here. I don't believe for an instant that this Port Damali is some sort of utopian paradise where they've conquered crime. That's a load of horse shit.
It is probably a rosy point of view.
And let's say it is. And everybody's found a way to love one another. It'll make an excellent base of operations to walk right through that door to Iman. And take injustice and grab it right by the neck.
Not where I thought you were gonna grab, but okay.
All right. I suppose. Why are we grabbing justice by the neck again?
Like, look around. We're like outside waiting by these carriages, There's just two dudes.
No,
But I'm like-
there's like at least 20 stablemen and servants standing there, all at attention.
Well-
They're not listening to this, but they
Yeah,
are
I
listening
don't
to this.
even. I don't even acknowledge.
We
this.
know how Lamont feels about the help.
Right,
so-
right.
Yeah.
So they don't exist. to
Yeah, I
him
don't know
right
who you're
now.
talking about.
Okay.
I don't know who
Like,
you're talking
he
about.
wants to, banish crime, but fuck these, customer service
No,
work.
but this is where he turns and squares his shoulders with Harlan, who I'm sure is not facing him. He's like, "What do you want out of this life, Harlan Flipcloak? You want to sell 1 million airships? You want to be out by the beach? Do you want to help people? What do you want? What are you out here to do?"
This is a very good question. I suppose not hurt people.
Not hurt people.
And on
Okay.
that profound thought, let's go back inside real quick.
Start there.
We're pausing there. Hal, you and Nezrin are dancing.
Yes, very well, I might add. Because Hal has had a year of these parties
Of ballroom dancing
to hone
training.
to hone her abilities because Nezrin absolutely put her in dance lessons.
Absolutely. Are you proficient in dexterity saves?
No.
All right, give yourself proficiency for all of your ballroom training for a year.
Oh, cool.
That's why you don't step on her toes anymore.
yeah.
There you go. Is there anything you wanted to talk with Nezrin while you were dancing? Or is it just one of those, let's enjoy ourselves and kind of forget that we
Yeah,
had
I
a
think-
really important conversation?
Yeah, I think we have had enough business and important talk. And now this is one of those no, Nugget, why are you playing on the keyboard? No, okay. Sorry. She was laying on the keyboard and then it was just nails in buttons and it was just
Yeah.
not a good time. Anyway, what was I saying? We've done a lot of port and talk,
Mhm.
and now this is just one of those rare times where we're just gonna hang out and enjoy each other's company for a dance or two, and then when we're done, we're gonna go out to the carriages where Harlan's waiting.
Okay. So you just have a nice dance and a couple dances and then you head out that direction.
Yep.
Okay. Back to Wendell. You have copied down in your notebook as best as you can
Mm-hmm.
the runes you think you see on the surface of the disc.
Yes. Fantastic. That's all he wants. Close the book. He's gonna find someone to dance with.
Okay. Is there anyone in particular you're looking to dance with?
Well, there was that lovely lady he was talking to earlier.
Jonata? Jonata Hearts?
Yes, but she said she didn't like dancing.
Okay.
So he will see if there's anyone. Oh. He's gonna, because he's been this person before at events. He's gonna see if there's any ladies standing near the edge of the dance floor who look like they want to dance but haven't been asked to dance.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Wendell's about to see her dancing with a whole bunch of other people, right?
It's possible. That is a 7.
That is a 7.
7. Lucky
All right.
number 7.
There are a few women
Mm-hmm.
and men standing along the edge of the dance floor looking like they are forlorn. They're hoping to find someone. It's in the later in the evening.
It
People
gets
have
harder
paired
to
up for the
find.
most part.
Yeah.
It's funny though that there's almost an equal amount of men and women looking to dance, but they just don't want to dance with those people.
I've seen it. I've as someone who did a lot of Lindy Hop and swing dancing and ballroom dancing and Latin, I've seen it. I know this scene exactly.
So there is a selection of young and old women that you could
Mhm.
ask to dance.
Well,
Of different races. There's a few elves. There's a halfling. There are
the height
there's a
difference
drow.
might be a little bit awkward
even.
with the halfling. Oh, he'll ask the drow lady to dance.
Okay, you asked
This
the
will
drow.
go well.
You asked the drow lady to dance, And she kind of looks at you. Why?
Well, I was thinking I would have a dance before I left for the ball this evening, and I thought you looked like someone who knew how to have a good time and cut a rug on the floor.
I don't see any rugs on the floor.
It's an Ammonian expression.
Are you trained in dancing?
I am.
Are you proficient in that ability? No, I
Performance.
don't. That's not an actual. That's not an actual question.
Well,
She's
I
asking
consider-
this.
Why, yes, I am.
Has anyone ever complimented you on your dancing that wasn't your mother?
Oh, my mother would never compliment my dancing, but other people have, yes.
For that answer alone, I will accompany you. She offers her. She offers her hand.
You will accept it, and God, Wendell's mother, just. Why couldn't you be more like your brother? Just imagine, it's just terrible, terrible. It's not. He's just waiting for her to die. But yes, he will dance.
All right, the woman you were dancing with is older, you can tell by elven standards, especially Drow, that there are some wrinkles and some graying in her hair. So therefore, she might be quite a bit older than yourself. She seems a little stern, but not too unwelcome to the opportunity to dance. She's wearing flowing layers of black silk.
Ooh, fancy.
I am Professor Shus Knuckle. You are?
Wendell Eustace Abernathy Lucius Throckwaddle Hossenpfeffer IV of the Havisham Hossenpfeffers.
Havisham.
Yes.
And Hossenpfeffer. I have sampled some of the wines from that area. Is that your winery?
It is indeed.
This may be an acceptable pairing after all. Please, lead on.
Escort her out onto the floor. Now, what was her name again? I'm writing it down.
Shus Knuckle. And that I will type that in over here so you can see it.
I wrote it like the German Schuss. So that
you know what? It's pretty close.
Okay.
I think it might even be the exact same.
Yes, I will take the spelling from my journal. That is so accurate.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Nicole,
Ah, yes. Cool. Very
Professor.
close. Professor, of course, and he will have a lovely dance with this lovely lady
All
who's
right.
heard of his wine.
You have an outstanding dance. She is quite the accomplished dancer. Takes the lead most often and expects to be in the lead,
That is fine.
but is pleasantly surprised by your adequacy at dancing and says that you are more than welcome to dance with her again if the opportunity arises.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure dancing with you, and I hope to do so in the future.
I was pleasantly surprised. Thank you.
And he would bow, and then I imagine Igor's probably emerging from the bathroom right about this time, and he will collect Igor.
He's still green.
Yeah, collect Igor, meet with everyone.
More green than normal.
And he's usually like more of like a gray, so like a gray-green. And he assumes everyone else is at the carriage by now. So
As you are exiting, you look back over your shoulder towards the dance floor, and you see the Professor Shus Nicole speaking with the other drow you saw this evening, Shadowhand Elis Kryn.
Okay. This
But
is fine.
You do know that most of the drow that came to the party this
Are
evening
from the Kryn, the Kryn
are the
ambassadors.
Kryn. Yeah, they are the emissaries.
Cool. He'll just make a mental note of that, and... Alright,
Okay.
Igor, now remember, if you have to get sick again, lean out of the window of the carriage while we're going.
Yes, Master. Master.
Oh god, I'm not sitting next to you. I'm not sitting next to you. Or across from you.
So as you exit, you see about the same time, Hal and Nezarin are exiting. Harlan and Lamont are in a very deep and meaningful conversation that I would continue if there was not just a keyboard in that particular. Oh, there's I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's a hand. And a muted microphone.
Hello. Yes.
Oh, so everyone else is walking up as Lamont and Harlan are finishing their conversation. Harlan just finally admitting that he just wants to not hurt people.
Hey, how's it going? So you guys going out, and I'm like talking to Hal, and so Hal and Wendell walk up.
No,
Who's everybody who walks up?
Hal, Nezrin, Wendell, and Igor are
Everybody.
walking up about the same
Are
time
walking
as
up.
you and Harlan are finishing your conversation.
I just look at you after you say you don't want to hurt anybody. I'm just like mad dogging you, and then I turn. Like, you guys going out tonight?
You know, it's like 2:00 in the morning, right?
Yes, I'm quite tired. I think I've partied quite enough this evening. I think I and Hal will be going
with
to
the
bed.
fucking keyboard, honey.
All right.
I had planned on writing.
I have to go to the temple tomorrow too, so and they're early risers over there.
All right. Go get some rest.
Colin says, "It's okay, Lamont. I'll be happy to come with you tonight." And I pull out my notebook, and it says a case study on multidimensional psychosis.
As that's going on, Nezrin walks over to one of the servants, calls for her carriage, and it comes. And you all proceed back to Nezrin's place. All who are going. Lamont, do you ride to Nezrin's manor?
No, we're going out.
Okay,
You
so
just
there's-
Take
get
all
dropped off.
Harlan's luggage.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the luggage.
Imagine they're like,
Shit.
just let me out.
Is there a lot of luggage? Where is this luggage from?
It's a lot of the things that you guys brought for your trip over here.
Yeah,
That was
so
the plan. It was on the airship.
All right.
come back to
Shall
the
we go?
place with us,
Yeah.
and we'll head out later.
And then we'll go skulking. We'll go out on patrol. That sounds great.
do
that sounds great.
whatever is necessary.
I'll get you freshened up.
Wonderful.
All right. So the carriage heads to Nezrin's place, which is just outside of the Crescents. It is a nice building. It looks like it could fit in the Crescents. It's large for its size, but not. It doesn't have the grand gardens that the place you just left, or nor the size. But it has something like 35 rooms anyway, and it's ridiculous the size that these merchants have in their buildings, and their own staff of servants. So each of you are afforded your own multi-room retreat almost inside the manor, while Hal and Nezrin's personal spaces are much more elegant and refined. So, Wendell, you are staying in to write
Yes.
your smutty romance novels.
Yes. I've got a working title. It's From Shags to Riches.
From Shags to Riches, of course.
Yes.
And Hal, you'll be staying in because you have an early morning. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Igor just falls asleep at the foot of Wendell's bed.
Oh, I imagine I shuffle him off to the foot of the porcelain god, so we may say.
Okay.
In case he should waken with tummy rumblies.
Tummy rumblings. All right. And Harlan and Lamont, you put your stuff away and you're going out for the evening.
I'm going to get on my carpet, sit down,
Okay.
and just pull out my studies and just shadow Lamont.
This is flying carpet?
Yes.
Cool. Oh, this is great. What a great team up this will make.
We've
Uh,
always been a team, Lamont.
Yeah. Always. And we'll do the tango and cash handshake. And And so, yeah, for the next, I think he's got about an hour and a half before he starts to get really tired.
Okay.
About, just shy of a couple of hours before he's like, okay. But in the meantime, he skulks the night. We stick to the rooftops.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
using
Describe
a
this for
gravel
me.
hook. We're going from rooftop to rooftop. We're getting a sense of the city. We're taking in the atmosphere. We're carefully monitoring the coming and going of the populace.
Okay.
He's in full Terror What Strikes at the Dark regalia with mask and the whole shebang. And if Harlan wasn't on a flying carpet, he would just be worn out because, like I said last time, Lamont is maybe just a little old for this, swinging from rooftop to rooftop, but is completely committed. And, I'm sure the architecture is different and potentially more challenging, certainly unfamiliar.
Actually, what you find in the architecture is that there is no set standard. Unlike Amon, where you had the high roofs and the slate and the timber and brick buildings, timber frame and brick buildings, this is a collection, a mishmash of many different architectural styles. Plaster buildings, you have tall, thin buildings with big open plazas and interior courtyards. You have tall wood frame buildings with interesting sloped and extended roofs. It's just ramshackle almost in how many different types of architecture you have in such a small area. And then you have the quality differences from the larboard light to the gilded esplanade to the crescents to the beaded alley to the tumble downs. You haven't experienced the tumble downs yet. That is the lower end habitations, that the general populace of Port Damali. The buildings are closer together. They're a little less well made. That's where the general civilians of the city live.
But there is no crime.
Well,
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out.
give me a look.
for
Give me
muggings.
perception or investigation checks,
Crime
whichever
check.
one.
Technically, Nezrin didn't say there was no crime. Nezrin said that the poor people were taken better care of than in Mon.
Mhm.
So.
But thankfully, Amon has soup kitchens and orphanages now, more than they did before.
Okay,
Mhm.
so. All right, so Lamont gets a 20 on investigation, and Harlan Flipcoat gets a 27. Okay. Lamont, in your purview of the city of Port Damali, as you travel across the rooftops with Harlan's flying carpet, you do see the occasional signs of break-ins. You occasionally see what you think might be a mugging, but you're surprised at the speed at which the Zalazo security teams get there. You do not find any murders. You see people being arrested. It seems like this city has a well-oiled, functioning guard system that protects its inhabitants.
Controlled with an iron fist.
Possibly. Harlan, with your natural 20 for a 27 investigation, you notice some things. You notice that one of the muggings, money was passed between the arrestee and the guard. But you left the scene before you could see how that would be handled. You notice that some of the guards look the other way in certain areas. You see, as you circle over the tumble downs, you notice that there's a less guard presence in that area, where the larboard light, beaded alley, the crescents, and the gilded esplanade all have a much higher guard per capita ratio. But the what's the word I'm looking for? The density of the buildings in the tumble downs makes it difficult to see all the shadowed areas. What you can see just seems like people doing what they do at night. The night market, as you go through the beat it out near where the Crescent Acorn is located, is going strong, and seems like everyone's having a wonderful time there. There is a guard presence there as well. But you notice that there are probably places where Lamont could find his dirty underbelly, where he can be the terror which strikes the night, or stalks the night, or gives back rubs to the night, whichever one he is that evening. But that's what you see because of your natural 20. And you only had an hour and a half, so it was a pretty quick survey.
I see a few points of interest here. There's, I believe, some guards taking bribes. There's also lots of shadowy corners that crime could be hiding in. The Tumbledowns seem like your kind of area.
Of course, law enforcement's on the take down here. They've got it good. It's too easy. Pay them off and keep them sweet. Well, I don't see anybody getting, brutally attacked right now, so why don't you let me hop on that carpet there and I need a bath.
Is it time to go home?
Tomorrow night I'm going to come back here and walk around. But as for tonight, I'm spent. I've got a lot to think about.
All right. I'll offer him a hand up.
All right, here we go. All right. And he has some trouble getting on the carpet and has to sling his leg around it.
Is it like when one person's in the hammock and the second person's trying to get in the hammock? It's just a little awkward.
I imagine so.
Just hold on to me. Here I go. Yeah. It's not graceful.
Steady yourself.
All right. You guys make it back. Lamont, you get your bath with the support of several servants. Harlan, do you head on to bed at that point?
Yes, I
Okay.
put away my studies.
Was there anything else you wanted to do before we move on, Lamont?
I do not regard them, but I am not rude to them. And
That is an improvement.
It is.
it's like they're not even there.
That's better than being recognized, I think.
Yes. And I stare off into the middle distance with visions of breaking fingers and kneecaps and mentally preparing myself for doing what's going to have to be done.
Okay. Let's check in before we head to the next morning. Wendell, is there anything else you would like to do other than write your smut?
Oh, I suppose I'll write my smut. I will just write down, make sure anything he may have forgotten to write down after the meeting. Just jot down the details of the meeting in his journal.
You check in with your friend in the pocket?
Sure, I'll check it on Galore. How's Galore doing?
Still gibbering about the key, but you start hearing different things like, they found the key. No, a key, part of a key. That is part. If they find the rest, no, the key must not be put together.
Right.
You still are not quite sure why Galore and your patron are so set against this particular deity being released.
They're evil, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Awful
You
things.
just don't know the specifics of the evil.
I don't need to know the specifics. That's for my patron to worry about. He'll delegate me some worry if he thinks it's, worth mentioning.
Okay.
Like he's a delegator, just as I am. One
That's
must
fair.
delegate. And afterwards, I think I'll have finished a decent portion of my first book because I've been writing 8 hours a day for a few weeks now, and I'll drop off maybe like the first half of the rough draft by like Owl and Ezrin's, because I assume they share the room.
Mm-hmm. There's a small table outside with a platter that for notes and whatnot to be left out there. Okay. All right. Well, the next day dawns. Hal, you're up early, as you said you were going to be. Is that correct? Nezrin plans to stay in. She just kind of like rolls over and just lets you go.
Does she roll over and read Smite?
That's fair.
What's that?
Does she roll over and read
Probably.
Smite?
No, it's still outside.
No.
When you exit the chambers, you see that there is a manuscript with a bow on it sitting outside.
I will put it on the nightstand for Nezrin.
She doesn't acknowledge it.
Well, yeah. And then I make sure that the servants bring her breakfast in bed.
Okay. That will be very easily done.
Okay. And then I see if anybody else is up.
Wendell's awake.
I know Wendell's awake.
He doesn't sleep.
I
imagine he's because he's got Glamored studded
all...
leather too. He's got like his writer's ensemble, which is like a smoking jacket with comfy pants, and it's just distinguished but comfortable looking. Probably sipping some tea.
She'll go like lean on the door frame and just, hey, Wendell.
Oh, hello, Hal. Good morning. Yes, morning.
Morning. Yeah, it's morning. I'm going up to the Temple of Bahamut. To see if I can find any information on Avum.
Right.
Are you interested in coming? I don't know if churches are like your thing.
Would you like me to accompany you?
I mean, you're a lot smarter than I am.
I'll accompany you.
Thanks.
Imagine he walks behind like
head out.
one of those privacy screens, and he just like the walk whoop, and he's in a going out outfit because. Oh.
I muted myself. Each one of the rooms has its own parlor, like outside with a table, comfy chairs, a fireplace, a writing desk, that kind of thing. And then there's 2 large double doors that open into the bedchamber. So yeah, you could still have your dressing screen there.
Yes, and he just does the quick walk behind it, and he comes back, and it's just going out where.
All right.
I think at this point, Hal doesn't really question it because, like, I'm sure it's happened multiple times before.
I have a question, Hal. Is your
yes?
Is your Bahamut symbol prominently displayed, or is it still within your clothing? Like, are you wearing it out so it can be seen?
Yeah, I imagine she wears it because it's not like a huge thing, right? It's just like
it's a medallion, almost like an amulet
pendant,
type,
right?
Yeah. Well, more of an amulet.
Okay, yeah, she just wears it like a necklace. So
okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't imagine she tucks it under her clothes.
Okay, so you wear it outside.
No, it would. Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. So you make your way. Nezrin has ahead of time that the Temple of Bahamut is actually very close to Mr. Nouveau's manor. It's actually right past it, near the edge of the crescents on the north western side. And so you make your way there. Are you going to take a carriage? Or are you going to walk this morning?
That's not too far, right? I think we'll just walk.
It's probably a good 30-minute walk. It's a nice day out.
We'll take the carriage there, and then we'll take the carriage there, and then we'll walk back. And Hal doesn't tell Wendell, but she's gonna get him breakfast as a thank you for coming with.
Okay.
So,
he's very appreciative.
Carriage there, and then send the carriage back.
Okay. Your stable team gets it ready in no time. The carriage ride is 5 minutes. Really not a problem at all.
Yeah.
They put you out. The Temple of Bahamut is a grand temple. It looks old. It's very tall. Lots of columns along the front, almost kind of like a circular in a way, except the second back half is all closed in, where the front half is more of a performative area where you have clerics of Bahamut entreating visitors. It's a little quiet. It's first thing in the morning. The doors are open. The lights are lit. The sconces are lit. The braziers are lit. You just walk on in.
I do whatever Hal
Yes,
does.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I imagine Hal has been to this temple once or twice before, but she doesn't like frequent it.
Yes.
Like when she initially came to Port Damali, she came and like checked in and was like, I'm a paladin of y'all. Like she got registered. I don't know. I don't know how fucking churches work.
She checked in.
Yeah, she checked in, and then
All right.
she's come in on like the major holidays and
Did you
from
meet
time
anyone?
to time, very infrequently.
Like, did you meet anyone in
Um,
particular?
She because back in Amman, she had like a mentor,
Mm-hmm. Like a trainer.
and I would imagine that a trainer, yeah, and I would imagine that when she told them that she was going to spend a year here, they would have assigned her a different one.
Okay. Tell me about this
in
person.
this city. Okay.
Who are they?
Okay, so I imagine in order to put up with Hal, it has to be someone who takes no shit and
Okay.
has almost as bad of an attitude as her.
All right.
But in kind of like a younger, like they're an older sibling of yours kind of way,
Okay.
maybe.
That
And
sounds
they've
good.
been with the church for a very long time.
Okay. And a very long time is
Like they're an elf.
okay.
So like a very long time.
All right. There aren't very many elven servants of Bahamut at this time. No, that's good. That's good. So there's a story, but there why they left. Male or female? Or does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right.
Male, female, otherwise.
Okay. And give me a name. What are they called?
A name. Zero. Their name is Zero.
Zero. Okay.
Zero no rune.
Zero no room. Okay.
Yep. No rune.
All right. So do you go in
Brain.
looking for Zero?
Yes. If
Alright.
she is familiar with them, yes.
Most of the initiates that are outside see your amulet. They nod to you because they recognize you. You've come before. You head back into the temple looking for Trainer Norun. Not too long, you find this tall, kind of a tall, let's see, I'd say what? Reddish hair, maybe? Might be a wood elf in a way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Reddish hair, tall, thin, older elven person who is working through sword forms back in one of the rear training areas. There are a few younger members of the temple there going through the same thing. They are slowly trying to fix their footwork and their hand placement, their arm placement, and the different strikes and forms. When they notice you out of the corner of their eye, Howl, it's been a little long since your last training, but I already have a class.
Yeah, no. Keep going. I just need some of your time when you're free.
Children, continue on with the forms. I'll be back to you in a moment. Seb, please watch your elbow. You're gonna poke someone's eye out with that thing in your movements. Please stop. You see all the killed
And
children
that one,
kind of
you
nod.
keep crossing your feet, and that's why you keep tripping. So just
All elbows.
And you
stay in
should
that
listen to
stance.
her. She knows that because that's her own problem.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Walks over. Oh, have you brought me a new initiate? This one looks a little old for training, but I could
No.
probably work them into shape. Some
I
sort
I
of
don't
shape.
think religion's his thing, or
Hmm.
training it in anything of that matter.
I want to see something. Oh, they rolled a 4 and a 7. They cannot get the stink of aboleth from you. So
0, this is Wendell. Wendell, this is my trainer, 0.
0 bows.
Lovely to meet
Like
you.
you put your arm out to shake hands, and 0 just bows. It is a pleasure
I think
to
he
meet
just
you.
does the nod.
Okay.
The head bow nod thing.
I-
He's not
I
a
am-
huge handshaker.
I am Paladin Naroon. I have the pleasure of training Hal when Hal feels like being trained. I was
Yeah, probably
informed that
should
this was
swing
a
by more often.
much different training project from
It's this
someone
close
who
to
is much
saying a
more senior
pleasure
than I
indeed.
am. So,
Yeah, so again, sorry to interrupt. And then Hal kind of looks around and like she wants to make sure that like the kids aren't really listening, like they're focused on their training,
you're
and
far
that
enough
no
away.
one else is listening. Okay.
Okay.
And just like make sure there's nobody around, kind of thing.
The hustle and bustle of the temple, there are people moving around, but no one really pays attention to what's going on.
Okay. So
You seem troubled?
more frustrated with the lack of information.
Knowledge is important.
Group, yeah, especially in this case. Group has been dealing with a organization that is attempting to release a former god
Avon.
who was trapped. Avum, the
Is
one
this-
who waits.
I'm not familiar with that particular one, but all of the gods are
Hold on.
either behind the celestial gate or chained. So
So the information that we have is that before the calamity, but during the divine war, the gods came together to trap Avum, so neither side could have them.
the betrayers and the
Yes.
Yes.
oh.
I'm looking
That's
for my
quite
list
something.
of
I was-
all of the names of them so I can
Yeah.
be like, this guy, this
I
guy,
had it
this
somewhere.
guy, this guy. Yeah.
Avum, the one who waits. I think Ouroboros was somewhere in there.
There's quite a number of names, but I'm not sure that this helps much for.
I was wondering if there was anyone, any kind. Does the temple have a historian? Like, we know for the most part,
Or a
and
library?
it's probably, yeah, it's probably completely. They were stricken from all records.
Most
Hence why
based.
nobody seems to know about them. But I was wondering if maybe, as you know, Bahamut's a god, one of the gods had to have kept something. They couldn't have all been in agreement about that. Is there like a historian that might know? Nugget, what the fuck are you doing? I'm sorry, she's attacking the map of Barovia.
You
Like,
said that right as
bullshit,
right as
right?
Tesla was like, I'm gonna make biscuits, and I'm like, oh,
Like,
my leg.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so like I just
we
is
have
there
a
any
local
kind of record from back then?
historian here for the temple, and the temple is quite old. But the historian you probably would want to speak with would be one in Vasselheim, at the mother temple there.
Okay. How far is Vesselheim from here?
Other
it
side
on
of the
this continent?
world.
Okay,
No.
not on this continent. Okay.
No.
Mhm.
On the continent of Isilra
Okay.
or Isilra. Not sure how I'm pronouncing that, but it's another continent.
Right.
I'm. You could speak with the brother historian if you wish. Maybe they might have heard something, but you say that most of the knowledge was stricken. And if all the
Most,
gods,
yeah, I'd say most because like this organization that we've been dealing
they
with,
obviously
they
heard of
seem
him
to know
somehow.
a decent amount. Yeah,
mean-
they found out about him somehow.
If all records are stricken,
So-
no one would know about them.
Yeah, no one
are
would
you
know
sure
anything.
it's a god, or is this just some attempt at?
They
Supposed to be
might
the god of
they
time.
Yeah, they said God. It could be a creature that's just super fucking powerful.
Godlike,
But
perhaps?
yeah, they said it was they were a new, according to the organization, which I don't trust, they were a neutral playing field type of god who could control time.
Much of what you're saying makes sense. Time is neither for or against you. It's just there. It moves.
Yeah.
And you just experience it as you will. This is quite strange. And you say there's an entire organization.
Yeah. You ever heard of the Clockwork Council?
No, but I spend most of my time now training the young ones.
That's fair. Yeah, they have a presence in pretty much every major city in the world. So
Well, that is quite interesting.
yeah.
That's much like the temples having their own
In fact,
presence in
their
each major city.
oldest branch
Yeah.
is in Vasselheim.
Makes sense as well.
Oh, look at that.
Well, new temples are being found in Vasselheim all the time. It is the oldest city in our world. Matter of fact,
Could
was
there be a temple of Avon there?
I could not say no. I don't know. I do not know of this unknown god.
This is all just speculation at this point.
Have you prayed upon it and asked for our Lord's intervention, knowledge?
I'm not super great at the whole prayer thing.
Right. That's why I'm suggesting it. I thought it would be a good experience for you to try and work on that. I know that as paladins, we are bound by our oaths, of which I'm proud you've kept yours so far.
I'm doing my best.
But we also have the same benefits as some of the clerics do, and that we may speak with our God when necessary. Who do you worship, Wendell?
Oh, me?
Do you follow a god?
Haven't really
worship,
settled
like,
on a
wine and
deity.
You have the look of someone who handles power about you.
Oh, you could say I'm very much into the studies of the mind. Lots of reading. Books.
Ah,
Hence why I brought him. 'Cause
People might
he's
think
smart.
he's a wizard. Because he's always got his tome. And he's got magic.
Norun nods.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Well, would you like to go speak with the historian?
Yeah, if they're available.
Historian Eiselman is somewhere around here. If you want to wait here and maybe practice your forms, I'll find the historian.
Yeah.
I do so enjoy
sure.
learning more about your deity, though, Hal. Bahamut seems rather interesting.
Yeah. I can tell you what I know. He's a platinum dragon,
Yes, very fierce.
and he's very terrifying.
Yes, and I could see on
But
the wall
really
carving over there.
nice. Yeah, yeah. benevolent is the
Hmm.
word that people keep using. But like fire. I'm gonna go swing my sword.
Oh, right, you swing your sword, Hal. Thank you. Very enlightening.
she she pulls out Clockwork Killer and starts going through her forms.
After
Winda
a few
will-
moments,
We'll look at, like, there's always, like, engravings and, reliefs and pictures
Mhm.
and things. He'll just, hands behind his back, look at those while she's training.
they're well worn. This is a very old temple.
Mm-hmm. And he's
After-
just thinking to himself a little bit, like, hold up, ask when we need them, if they answer. And he's like, he's just thinking to himself, like, these poor simple people don't know the benefits and the glory. The prism of power. But he doesn't say it. He restrains himself because this is Hal's place and he has some
Roll a
respect for Hal.
D100 for me.
Do I get smote?
I want to see what happens. Give me a D100. There'd be no smiting, but I want to see.
That would be a 64. 5
Okay,
away from a very nice number.
right. Unfortunately, I was hoping for an interaction, but you're safe for the moment. But
He doesn't walk into
as you're
temples often, but when he does.
as you're wondering about whether or not you're about to be smoked by a god, Paladin Naroon walks in, and followed behind him is a shorter, hunched over older man with the whole monk's cap kind of haircut and grayish
bowl
white
cut.
hair, scraggly beard, robes kind of hanging on his very thin body. He's got a walking stick. Yes, historian, this is Paladin Initiate Hal. She had questions for you. What? Hal? Who's Hal?